So then do the TikTok one.
Can you get me that little stand?
Drop that little screw.
Hmm?
I dropped a little screw for that thing. Oh, what up, Mob Nasty? How you doing, man? You still falling dubs?
This is not gonna work. We can't get us both.
Hey, Mob Nasty, can you hear me or is it too loud? You can put that sideways? You can be turning?
I think so. It's gonna be.
Oh, but you can't read it, huh?
Mm-mm.
There's gotta be a way to do it here on the laptop. Well, I know there's a way to do it on a laptop. You just have to be able to log into it.
Super annoying. How
What?
did we do it last time?
We were on the bar,
Oh, that's
but there's
why.
no space for all this shit up there.
Yeah.
So it's harder to do it there.
Do you want me to go live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell was going on with that thing. Yeah, usually there's a bunch of people on there.
Let me see.
Can you hear the fucking birds?
Yeah. We can talk to them and ask them if they can hear it or not.
Yeah, for all you people that are for the people on YouTube, can you hear it or no?
People who are, can you guys
Oh,
hear us?
there's my aunt. Yeah, she can hear it.
Okay. Does it sound loud?
Yeah, is it loud
Can you hear us clear?
or is it echoing?
Okay. Let us know if it sounds kind of funny. We have some new audio equipment that we're trying out, so see how it works. So it's been a while since we came on live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're live on TikTok as well as YouTube. So for people that are just logging in into TikTok, just let me know if you can hear us okay. It just says joined.
Yeah, but I can't see how many people are on there. What
It's
is it
only
telling-
7 right
oh,
now.
okay.
I can see it. Okay, good.
How you doing, Rory? Hey, the feathers that people send. What is the meaning of those? Because I get that kind of a lot. The feathers. You can scoot over.
I could probably scoot over, huh? Yeah.
I don't. I can't remember. Somebody told me one time what it means, but I don't really remember. Is it like luck or something like that? What's up, Andy Mendoza?
Oh yeah, this is good. This is fine. Native American. That's what it means.
Who said that?
Over here. So TikTok, we're live on with you guys. It's been a minute since we got on live. We're also live on YouTube, and we're kind of just doing a Q&A, I guess. Anything you guys want to ask us, and let us know what you'd like, what content you'd like to hear, that kind of stuff. We're gonna start doing a little bit more videos up on YouTube, and just kind of want to feel for what you guys are wanting to hear, what you guys want to know from us, type of thing. What are you doing? You're in need of some Modelos. I'm trying.
Yeah, come through. I think I got a couple of them in the refrigerator. I don't drink those. When they're here, it's because somebody brought them. They bring that the Modelos here, but I really don't. I don't drink them. I have those, and I have Coronas and Estrella. They're sitting in the refrigerator. I don't drink that. I don't drink that unless I'm desperate.
When there's absolutely nothing else
When
to
there's
drink.
nothing else to drink, then I'll drink Modelos and Estrella. Well, I like Corona, but not Estrella. That Estrella shit is too skunky. I don't know if any of you on YouTube or TikTok have watched the last video that I did, but some people have like questions about. Well, some people have messaged me on Instagram and asked me about, or pretty much telling me like that about my wife leaving me. That's not what I was trying to say in the video. In that video, I was just saying that people get tired of certain things after a while, and going through what I'm going through, it's just, there's people out there that will, when you live an active life and you're used to doing all kinds of things all the time, and then all of a sudden something happens, somebody gets sick, and you can't do all those things no more. Life becomes boring for the other person. Like for me, it's not boring. I got to continue. I got to do what I got to do because of the cancer, but.
You got messages that I was leaving you?
No.
You were saying.
They're asking me why I was saying that.
Oh.
There's people out there that will get bored of somebody or the lifestyle when they're used to doing all kinds of things, being out and about and hanging around and shit like that, and then all of a sudden there's no more of that. It's you're sitting at home, and because I'm sitting at home, I gotta stay home, and because I'm tired and sick. So, some people get tired of that shit. I don't know about how I would deal with it if it was me. being out on the biker scene and all that shit like that, and then my wife gets sick and gets cancer or something, and then I got to stay home with her all the time. There's no more being out and about, being out with my friends and parties and shit like that, So I don't know how I'd handle it. I would like to think that I would stay home and be with her all the time, but you don't know until you're in that situation. So that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying like she's doing shit that makes me think that she's gonna leave. No, and I'm not even worried about that. You know what I mean? That stuff doesn't cross my mind. I'm not worried about it because I feel, oh, she won't do it. I'm not worried about it because no matter what, whether she's here or she's not, I still gotta do what I gotta do every single day. You know what I mean? Because she's not here, that doesn't stop my life. You know what I mean? So I don't never worry about that shit anyway. I was just bringing up the point because there are people out there that will leave you at the worst times of your life. You know what I mean? And like I said, when there's people who have walked away from me during this time, during this year and 4 months. There have been people that have walked away from me. They don't talk to me no more, and it is what it is. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I gotta continue going forward. You know what I mean? I can't worry about what they're doing. You know what I mean? So that shit doesn't bother me. And it all goes back to when I was younger, living the life that I lived and being raised the way that I was raised, and then getting locked up and doing time and realizing then that people weren't going to be there for you. Like people would tell me that before I got busted, like, hey, you need to slow down doing what you're doing because, you're going to get busted one of these days and nobody's going to be there. And I never believed that. I always thought that my family and my friends would be there. And when I got busted, nobody was there. And it was a harsh reality, you know what I mean? To be like, damn, they were right. There is nobody here. And I got to survive on my own. And I got to try to make it on my own. And I got to figure things out while I'm here and doing this time. You know what I mean? So I've been used to that since I was a kid. So anybody walking away from me, you're not affecting me. You're affecting yourself more than you're affecting me. I'll tell you that right now. But I was just bringing up the point because there are people out there that will leave you at the worst time of your life because they just can't deal with it. They can't deal with it no more. But I'm not saying that she's doing that.
So for those of you who don't understand why he's commenting on this,
Cowboy?
is because he did a video and he posted a video yesterday up on YouTube about how our life has completely slowed down. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, he's battling stage 4 esophageal cancer. It's been over a year. What is it? A year and
4 months.
A year and 4 months.
No, I've been a year and 4 months doing
chemotherapy, basically on a weekly basis. And our life has completely slowed down, and he's brought it up a couple times where he feels like, he's asked me, are you bored? And I tell him, no, I'm not bored. Life has slowed down, but it's not boring. And we've had these real raw and honest conversations with each other. So he did a video of it. You guys haven't watched it. It's up on YouTube. It's the latest video that he did. He did it by himself. And it's kind of like, if I leave, what, you expect the worst anyways type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like, how you always expect the worst? You don't trust anybody? You kind of talked a little bit about.
My thing was, like, I don't trust nobody fully. You know what I mean? I can't tell you that I trust anybody fully 100%. You know what I mean? I trust her more than I trust anybody else. But to sit here and say and be a liar, like, there's a lot of dudes out there, a lot of men, a lot of women out there. I mean, I don't know if she trusts me 100%. If she does, that's good. If she doesn't, it's okay because I don't do nothing wrong anyway for her not to trust me. So I don't care. You know what I mean? But myself, I won't sit here and bullshit, I was messaging my friend Gabo yesterday, and he was saying, he was like, hey man, like, you're one of the realest people I ever met. Like, you don't care. You'll say what you got to say no matter what. I said, I'm not going to spare somebody's feelings you know, you know, and bullshit. You know, I'll tell you what it is. So to sit here and say, "Oh, I trust my wife 100%," no, that I would be lying to say that. You know what I mean? I don't trust anybody 100%, but that's just because that's the way that I was raised. You don't trust people. You trust them as far as you can throw them, because you know what? Some of these feelings can turn real quick, and I've seen it done so many times before. Not just with myself, but other people. You know, feelings will turn real fast. You know, and so, but I'm not worried about it. I don't think about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think like, oh, my wife's out doing something wrong, or why doesn't she call me? My wife, when she goes places, she messages me. She always sends me pictures of what she's doing. And to be honest with you, I look at these things and I think, you don't have to do that. I don't tell her that, but I think that, like, you don't have to do that. I'm not worried about that. I don't think about those kind of things. You know, so I don't. But I understand she's doing it because she wants to prove to me, like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm over here doing what I said I was doing. But in my eyes, it's like, you don't have to, because I don't worry about that. You know what I mean? I don't think like that. You know, as far as that goes, I trust her with that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I don't trust her, like she's fucking around. My thing is, what's to happen in another 6, 7 months from now? I've been going through this for a year and 4 months, and it ain't there's no light at the end of the tunnel for me right now. You know what I mean? The chemotherapy is no longer working. And so I got to go to the doctor on Monday and find out what they're going to do. If they're going to change my chemotherapy and then also give me radiation, or what's going to happen. You know what I mean? But I can only do this for so long before they stop. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, what's up, Big Cheese? Hey man, one day you got to come down over and hang out with me and shit, man. Then I'll go over there to your oasis in your backyard that you built. I'm jealous of that. But you know, I lost track of what I was saying. But
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that, because I've gotten some messages saying, does it bother me that he doesn't trust you fully, or he says the things that he says? And to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me at all, actually, because I already know how he is. You know, we've had these very real, raw conversations when we first started dating. So, you know, we've been with each other for 5 years now. And, you know, we talk a lot, you know, we established a lot of these roots from the very beginning. And I already know how his mind thinks. I already know how he's wired. I know about his past. I know about how he grew up. And I know how he is. So no, it doesn't bother me. I actually it's I know he loves me, because he could say what he's saying, but I know that this man absolutely adores me, because his actions speak way louder than his words do. I know that maybe expecting the worst in somebody, so that you're not surprised, so you don't get disappointed in people, is because it's a coping mechanism. And I think a lot of us have that coping mechanism already wired into us. Yeah, you do, and you don't expect anything in return, so that if it doesn't happen, you're not disappointed, right? That's how he thinks.
yeah, hey Cowboy, I'll let you know, bro. Leave me a message right there on the. You can leave messages on TikTok, can't you?
He could send me, yeah,
Yeah,
send a
send a message
message,
on
send a
TikTok
message on.
and leave your number right there, and I'm gonna get at you about the next time I do something right here. Um, but yeah, you come through. You can come through anytime, bro. But you know the thing is that I just think the bullshitter, man. You know, I ain't got time to be lying to her and telling her all kinds of dumb shit. You know what I mean? And I ain't got time for that, man. I see how other people are. You know, and like even the other day, okay, we were looking at some like kind of like subjects to talk about, and it was like this dude was saying him and his wife do like a podcast type thing. I think it was on TikTok. She was showing me, but you know, the dude was like, they were both lying. You know, to be honest, they were both lying. You know, they were over there on their, and I wish I knew their names.
I don't no, they have a
Yeah,
very large following.
yeah,
So
they do.
I don't think it's lying. I think it's what works for them.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
him and I showed him the video, and I was like,
That's they're lying.
It's too far fetched for me. I mean, it just doesn't work for us, I guess.
No, which one are you talking about though?
We're um
I'm talking about the
looking
one.
at other
Yes,
women.
yeah. Okay, the dude says that he doesn't look at other women. He does not have eyes for any other woman, only for his wife. And she was saying the exact same thing, like she doesn't look at other men. And I was like, what are you guys fucking blind or what? Like, I I don't I look at other women. I know she probably looks at other dudes. I don't care. I ain't that insecure, you know what I mean? And like I send her pictures of girls that I look at on Instagram. You know what I mean? If I see somebody on the street with a big ass, I'll say it.
We're like, hey,
Yeah, I don't care. You know what I mean? I'll say it. I look at other women. I look at other women all the time on Instagram. What do you think? I'm looking at dudes on Instagram? No, I'm there looking at bikes. I'm looking at different events. I'm looking at women. You know what I mean? There's no way to sit here and say like, oh, I only have eyes for you, and I never look at another woman. Yeah, you're a liar. And the thing is, they have this podcast, and they're like two people looking at each other's eyes and confessing the feeling to each other, and they're trying to convince everybody that they only have eyes for each other. Now, I'm not saying that I want to sleep with these people. I'm saying if I see a girl with a big ass on Instagram, I'm looking at it. I'm sending it to her.
And he's showing me.
And I send it to her, and I send it to my friends, and people are like, man, you be sending that stuff to your wife? I said, yeah. Why?
You know what's really funny is when you send them to me, and then I go to it, and I also see that my son also liked the picture.
Yeah. And not only that, her son be liking the pictures and shit.
I have a 29-year-old. It's not like a little boy, by the way.
Hey, Mondo, I stopped looking at you years ago, bro.
So the conversation was, that's a lie, because I really feel like you can look at someone of the opposite sex. You don't have to. You can look at him and be like, "Damn, that's a really good-looking man," or "Damn, that look. Did you see the body on that girl? She's beautiful." You can look at somebody without lusting over them, and and honestly, I think that's a true statement. You can look at somebody without lusting over them, and just appreciate the beauty. I see beauty in everybody. I think you do too.
No, I look at big asses. And women, I like looking at women, but I can never. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say I don't look at other women. Yeah, I do. When I'm out and about and I see a woman, I look at her. You know what I mean? I don't turn away like a horse with blinders on. And people, and like I said, you know, she don't think that they're lying, but that's a straight up lie. Anybody that tells you that is lying to you. Like, you're not blind. You know what I mean? It's not. There's not a. But the problem is that, okay, well, if she tells me like, oh, that's like a good looking dude or whatever she's looking, I always, my comeback is always like, oh, he's gay. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what's his name? What's the fucking guy from Aquaman? What's his name? The Aquaman guy with long hair.
The long hair.
Momoa. That dude's gay. You know what I mean? Brad Pitt. He's gay. All them guys that they with these women, like, they're gay. You know, but
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's my comeback to it. It's like, oh, that dude's gay. I don't care. You know, Jason Momoa. Yeah, he's gay. I don't care. You know, but you know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like lying and shit like that, you know, to my wife. And then, you know, there was another thing that came up. Well, in the very beginning, you know, me and her cousin had a mutual friend, and come to find out, I come to find out that this girl that was a mutual friend with me and her cousin, you know, I had messed around with her years ago, you know, and so I told my wife when I got with her, like, hey, that chick right there, I know she's, you know, because she's my wife's cousin's friend. So I said, hey, I just wanted to know I messed around with that girl before. You know what I mean? And because, you know what, I didn't want that shit to come back to me. I didn't want to be, you know, years into my relationship and that girl decided that she wanted to try to fuck my relationship up by telling my wife or telling her my wife's cousin, like, oh, I messed around with him before. You know what I mean? And then, you know, my wife to come to me and say, hey, well, why didn't you ever tell me? And you have me over here looking stupid and that girl comes around, you know what I mean? And I didn't want that to happen, you know what I mean? So from the very beginning, when I found out that that girl and my wife's cousin were friends, I told her, like, oh, hey, I just want to let you know. And then, you know, we went to an event or a wedding, and she was there. And so I went up there and I said hello to her and hugged her and, hey, how you doing? And that was that. You know what I mean? Well, she said that she told one of my partners, like, oh, I don't talk to him because, he treated me like he doesn't know me, and say, but I think that the issue was that she didn't realize that I had told my wife about her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Go over there and hang out with you? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go sit at your table and hang out with you. I said, so if you're pissed off that I didn't go over there and sit down with you, that's your problem. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. But it's like my wife knows that me and you messed around. Why would I be sitting over there with you? That would make my wife look stupid. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna do all that. But I'm honest. I'm honest about things. I don't like to lie about nothing. I just, it's not worth it now to lie and get caught up in all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? I'm getting older now, and I can't even remember yesterday. And you want me to remember lies that I'm telling? I can't do it. So I just be honest with my wife about everything.
Yeah. And did I get mad?
No.
Why am I going to get mad? We all have a past. So when you told me that, I was like, cool, I'm glad you told me, and then we moved on. But I don't think a lot of people or a lot of females out there can react that way. I might be wrong. There's some of us out there that can. But in this instance, I don't think people, because you have a pretty crazy, wild past, which he says all his stories. I've known about all those stories. So if you guys go on the YouTube channel and you listen to these stories, every single one of those stories, I've already been told about it before it's even posted. And they were all probably told the first year we were together. We had a lot of conversations that first year. Real quick, yes, this is our garage. It's a bar. So when he was first diagnosed with chemo, he was off work for a year, and he built this bar inside of our garage. There's floors, it's painted, there's everything here that you see. It is a bar inside of the garage. We call it the Barrage, and it also has its own Instagram. So if you follow us on Instagram, follow the Barrage. We do have events that we do here.
Hey Rachel, how you doing? Hit me up on Instagram. Send me. I mean, on Instagram. Send me a message. I haven't seen you on for a while, so hit me up and tell your dad I said hello. And for Mexican Guru, I'm involved out here in the biker scene in Southern California. You know what I mean? And you know what? I've done a lot of shit out here. You know what I mean? As far as fucked around with a lot of different women and shit out here. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, I was out there doing my thing, before I met my wife. Actually before I was even riding the bike, and out here, when you go to these events, you run into people. There's always people running around, and I never want that to be a surprise to her for somebody to come to her and tell her shit like, oh yeah, like if I see somebody that's there at one of these events or something like that, and I fucked around with them, I'll tell her like, hey, that girl over there, because I wouldn't want her because there's these women out here are scandalous, man. They'll do anything to fuck your relationship up. I see that shit all the time, man, in this biker scene. They will do anything to fuck your relationship up. You know what I mean? So I'd rather tell her before somebody else comes and says something to her. You know what I mean? But
and the thing is, and I think the reason why he's comfortable with it is because I don't trip. I don't get mad. I just say, hey, that's cool. I'm glad you told me. I appreciate it. Guys don't do that. But the fact that if he's coming to me and being honest and telling me, why would I get mad back at it? Why would I even say, well, why are you telling me this? That's an irrational response to someone who's coming to you and being honest and truthful. If they deserve the respect to have an honest and truthful response back with respect. It takes a lot for someone to come up to you and tell you, especially your partner, to say, hey, I don't want you to look stupid, but there's someone here that I used to mess around with. And because I already know how he was, I already know his history, and he's going to tell me, and I appreciate the honesty. So he's going to get a respectful response back.
And all these stories that I tell her, I put them on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and see all these different stories that I be telling and shit. I don't just talk about the cancer shit. I talk about my life and all the experiences. Some people, they'll talk about their experiences as far as like the cancer that I'm going through, or their childhood and shit like that. I'm telling it all. Yeah, I'm telling everything about my life. You know what I mean? And that way, people that know me for the last 7 8 years, they could see what I was like back in the days. You know what I mean? Because I am a lot different than I was 20 years ago or 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
I remember, do you remember that one day you were telling me a story? I remember this. I just moved in. He told me a story and about necks. And I remember thinking, I could not believe it. I was looking at him and he took it like, why are you quiet? I'm like, I'm just kind of digesting everything you told me. And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you anything if it's going to affect you like that. I said, no, that's not why I'm quiet. The reason why I'm quiet is I can't believe you used to be that type of a person, because he's not that person with me. So it was really hard. It was hard for my brain, I guess, to like, wow, you were an asshole.
Yeah, because the thing, like, okay, on the YouTube, like some of you guys on YouTube, some of you guys on TikTok, but on the YouTube, I think my aunt is still on the watching. My aunt is on there, and my aunt didn't see me doing all the shit that I was doing, but I know she would hear about it. You know what I mean? I know my family would hear about the things that I was doing. But then there's Rachel. She's also on the YouTube, and she knows. She knows what. I mean, she was even at my house one day when shit jumped off, and I went outside. And I think yes, she was at the house that day. Her, my friend Chris, and some shit jumped off, and I ran outside. Whatever. But she was there. You know what I mean? She knows. She knows the things that I was doing back then. You know what I mean? So I was a different person than I am right now. But on the other hand, I am still the same. I'm just older. I didn't forget how to do. Yeah, I choose not to do those things, but it's not like I forgot how to do those things. And she's seen that shit recently. When we're in the market, she knows. I'll swing on a motherfucker real quick. I don't care. You know what I mean? You put me in that situation, and that's what happened. We're in the bonds. I'm not going to tell the story again because I already told it on one of the videos. But that wasn't the only time. That wasn't the only time that she seen me get into shit with people. I don't want to do all those things. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to pull out knives on people. I don't want to do shit like that. You know what I mean? But I don't give a shit how old I am. I refuse to let somebody push me around. And I told myself when I was 13 years old that I would never, ever let another person, another man, put their hands on me. If you do, there's gonna be consequences to it. You know what I mean? No matter what. I don't give a shit if I get my ass whipped. There's gonna be some kind of consequence. And so I didn't forget how to do things I was doing back in the day. I just ain't out looking for it. But if somebody brings it to me like they did the other day in the market, well, then I'm going to do what I got to do. And so, but I am still me. I'm just an older version that's not out looking for the problem. But if
and what did I tell you? We're too old for this shit.
Yeah, she said we're too old for it. But hey, she said we, and I'm like, you might be too old for this shit, but I'll still hit a motherfucker in the mouth. But that's it is what it is. But I'm different, but I'm still the same, and I still do what I do if I have to.
I want to take this time to also thank you for all the love and the support that you give, not only to Mike, but also to me. I get a lot of messages on the side, giving me encouragement from both, the bike scene, from outside of the biker scene. I started telling him the other day, hey, you've been getting a lot of followers. I said, all of a sudden I started getting a lot of followers, and I realized it's cancer. It's a lot of other warriors, call them cancer warriors, fighting the fight, and it's nice. So if any of you guys are watching and you guys are also cancer warriors, survivors, that's what this whole platform started because of that. the bar started because of that. So a way to bring our friends here because he couldn't get out. The YouTube channel started because it was a way to journal his life, leave his stories. If God forbid, the time came and he's no longer here, it's a way for me to be able to go on there, and his family to go on there and just watch him. It's a stamp that he's leaving on the internet, and I truly appreciate it. And then all of a sudden, he started asking me. Started asking me to do the videos with him, and kind of do it from there. I didn't want to at first. I was like, what could I possibly add to this platform? But then we got a lot of support. In wanting me to do it, go on and jump on board and ask and maybe talk a little bit about our relationship and our marriage and how that flows. But Phoenix, Arizona is watching. Thank you. Shout out to Arizona.
Big Chano, what's going on over there in Phoenix, man? How you doing? Yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday too. I'm talking to Rachel. She's on YouTube, but she wasn't always around either. But she knew, me and her brother, that we were having issues with each other. But then at the same time, when my homeboys wanted to do shit to her brother, I wouldn't let them. You know what I mean? Even though me and her brother were having a pissing contest when we were younger, but I still always had love for him and shit, and I still do to this day, But she knew what was going on, and I was out there doing my thing. But like she said, nothing changes but the date and the time. You know what I mean? I ain't out there looking for problems, but if somebody
you did admit that you shouldn't maybe not fight anymore.
Yeah, but
you're on chemo.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem with it. I know what that is. That's the issue that I have to think about when shit like that happens, because right here I have on my shoulder, and I have a port right here where they do my chemotherapy. It's like right under my skin.
It's an implant. It's implanted under the skin,
and then the line runs up here into my jugular vein. The line runs up in there into my vein, my main vein in my neck. And I think like, okay, if I swing on somebody too hard, that thing might pop out. Or if somebody was to hit me right there,
and it gets
infected, or the line comes undone on the inside, that thing's gonna bleed. It's gonna bleed on the inside, So I gotta watch that kind of shit. But I don't think about that when I got a young motherfucker out there running his mouth, thinking that he's tough or he's gonna punk me at the market in front of my wife. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about that that thing unplugging and bleeding on the inside. I'm thinking about destroying this guy, So yeah, I think like I should be careful what I do, but then again, I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to hit somebody again. What's my lifestyle? That's what. Wait. What do you think my lifestyle is, though? That's what I want to know. Well, I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do, Barbara. I mean, you're a woman, so it's a little bit different for you. But this ain't the Bible, and this isn't Nazareth or whatever. And there's no turning the other cheek here. You do something to me, and I'm gonna do something to you. That's just the way it goes. There's no turning the other cheek here. This is real life. You know what I mean? You disrespect me in front of my wife, and there's no turning the other cheek. I'm willing to die for that. And anybody that knows me knows that that's true. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let that happen. And the other thing is that way, I don't believe in all that God stuff. You know what I mean? I'm an atheist. I don't believe in all that stuff. So I don't know what lifestyle you think that I live. I'd like to know what lifestyle it is that you think that I live, to change my lifestyle, um, because I don't live a fucked up lifestyle. I don't really do nothing. I work and I stay home. The creator does not work like that. With that,
Oh,
okay,
somebody
that's
replied to
okay.
them. I think in answering to Barbara, it's easy for us to, because I'm like that. Like, why do you react to everything in my head, right? I'm thinking that way because that's how I grew up a different way than he grew up. So you have to always take consideration in how people grew up. What did they have to do their whole life to survive to get to this point? My journey to survive to get this point is very different than his journey. So not everyone is going to react the same. If he feels the need to react, I'll tell you one thing right now. He reacts a lot less than he probably ever had in the years before. But in answering to that, Barbara, I think that's probably the best answer. It's, why do you have to react? I think everyone's journey in this life is a little different. Just like I'm probably with you. I don't react. I'm not a reactor. I don't react. It would have to be really bad.
And it wasn't like I was just, I asked the dude, like, hey, what's your problem? Because, he's dogging on me in the market, I was asking, like, what's your problem? What's your problem with me? Like, because he's over trying to act, like a fucking fool in the market, because he's got a little girlfriend right there. You know what I mean? And I'm telling him, hey, what's the problem? You have a problem with me? Well, what's the problem? I'm trying to give him the option, like, leave it alone. You know what I mean? Or tell me, do you know me? That's the reason why you're doing what you're doing. But, he wanted to be the tough guy in front of his little girlfriend. And so, then he wants to threaten me and tell me you want to go outside. And it's like, okay, there's no need. Once you say that, there's no need to go nowhere. We're right here. There's nothing but air and opportunity now. We're right here and we're going to do it right now. We're not stepping nowhere. You want to call me out like that in front of my wife, it's not going to happen. So I hit him. And that's it. He hit me back. No big deal. It was ended after that. But I'm just not going to let somebody do that to me. That's just, you're not going to push me around, and I understand. I know you're not judging, but that's just the way that I am. I can't, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't understand myself. I cannot do that. I cannot.
You're just not wired that way.
No, it's not like that, man. And I'm willing to go to the end. You know what I mean? When I tell my friends, my real friends, they know, and it's just the way that I am. You know what I mean? If we're together and something happens, I'm willing to put my life on the line for my friends. And I know I'm not a fool. I know that a lot of them ain't gonna do the same thing for me. You know what I mean? They're not gonna go. They're not willing to go to prison for me. They're not willing to lose their families and their kids and their jobs over me. Something happens. But I'm willing to do that because that's just the way that I am. I can't be any other way. You know what I mean? I would be disappointed in myself if I let something happen to one of my friends and I'm there. You know what I mean? So, and I'll be disappointed in myself if I'm with my wife and some young dude decide he's going to try to bully me in front of my wife and think, and what when I say, well, hey, I'm 50, I'm almost 50 years old. I can't be fighting with this guy, and look like a dumbass. How would I feel driving home with my wife after some young 25-year-old kid just punked me in the market? How can I look at my wife after that? You know what I mean? Maybe she's accepting of it. Maybe she's like, it's okay. You know what I mean? But it's not okay for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the way that I see it.
And I can't get mad at him for how he reacts. I need to allow him to be him. So, when we walked into this relationship and into the marriage, one thing was very clear. I'm not changing him, right?
What's going on, Karen? How you doing?
Hello, wifey.
Yeah, hello, wifey.
Hello, wifey. But yeah, I'm not going to change him change who he is. I accept him. I walked into the relationship, into the marriage, with very open eyes. Um, and one thing I'm not going to do is stifle him in any way in who he is. If he chooses to change and maybe kind of check himself and whatever it is that he feels he needs to do, then that's done on him. Not because I'm putting all of these weird restrictions and, well, you better not do that because I don't like that and it makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's just not going to happen. That creates problems.
Yeah.
You know, that's when women
I-
think they can change a man.
I'm not trying to change nothing about her. You know what I mean? And I've told her before, this is what I am. Don't try to change me, because that right there, and this is, again, this is honesty. You know what I mean? I told her this before. If you try to change me, it's gonna fuck up our marriage. Don't try to change who I am. This is what I am, and I'm not gonna change for you or nobody else. I'm gonna continue to be me, and that's it. You know, she can't change me. Only I can change me. There's nothing that she could do. You know, there's nothing that she can say to change me.
And I learned that
If I want
previous relationships.
if I want to change, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it for her. You know what I mean? And I have. You know, I don't fuck around. You know what I mean? And people that watch my videos and stuff like that. You know, and again, this is honesty. You know, every relationship except one, and I've been in a few. I've cheated on every single one of them, all of them. And I was in the longest relationship I was in was like 11 years with my kid's mother, and I cheated on her the whole 11 fucking years.
But it was 11 years, not constant.
Yeah, I know.
Off and on.
Yeah, you always say that, but it doesn't matter. 11 years, 11 years. Okay, I cheated on her. Yeah, we broke up like 10 times, but we break up for a couple months. It wasn't like we were breaking up for years. Break up for a couple months, go back to her, and within a week, I'm cheating on her again. You know, and I was doing it for 11 years, and she never caught me. You know, in every relationship, and I've been married. This is my third marriage. Did the same shit. You know, but again, I was being honest about it. You know, I changed that about myself because I didn't want to start all over again. I got tired of that shit, man. I've started over so many times in my life where I left with when every time I left a relationship, I would take my TV and my clothes and I'm gone. My cars, my TV, and my clothes, I'm gone. I lose everything. And there I go, starting all over again. And I'm doing it because I'm a dumbass. I'm causing the problem, you know. And so this time when I met her, I said, if I can get to her, I mean, look at her. You know what I mean? When I seen her for the first time in person, I told myself, if you can get with her, if you can get to her, don't fuck it up, because you ain't gonna get another opportunity like this again. You know, so I was like, that's it. Don't do it. Don't do it no more. Don't, just stop being that way. You know what I mean? And so I did. You know, and I don't do nothing wrong. Nobody can sit here. There's no women out there that can sit here and say, oh yeah, I talked to him, I messaged him. None. You know, I don't do that no more. But that's because I wanted to change. She didn't change me. I changed myself. No, no, I don't. Not this. Like I said, I just explained that. No, I don't. You know what I mean? And I'm known out here. If I was, people would know. Like there's women out here say, "Oh yeah, he's fucking lying." Yeah. She can go through my phone right now. You know what I mean? That's one thing. Like, you know, there's a lot of motherfucking people out there. They won't let their wife touch their phone. There's a lot of men out there there's a lot of men won't let their wife touch their phone, and there's a lot of women out there that won't let their wife touch their phone. My phone is always right there. If she want to go through it, she can go through it. I ain't worried about that stuff. I ain't got nothing to hide. I changed for myself. You know, but the one thing is, like, you know, uh, nobody can change you. She can't change me. I can't change her. If she wants to change, she's gonna do it for herself. You know what I mean? So I just don't do those kind of things. And the thing is, I see we both do people going through these kind of issues. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, man, I'm glad I'm not going through that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very glad that I'm not going through that shit no more. You know what I mean? It's very hard. It's a very hard lifestyle to live when you're fucking around constantly. And in my other relationships, when I was doing that shit all the time, it was juggling. And it wasn't like I was juggling another woman. It was like I was juggling 4 or 5 different girls at the same time that I got somebody at home. You know what I mean? And that shit is rough. You know what I mean? And and so I just don't feel I need to do that shit anymore. You know what I mean? I have a good life. You know, me and her have a good life. It's just me and her. You know, we live here in this. We have a condo, a 3 bedroom condo. It's just me and her. Her kids are grown. My kids are grown. We just got our 2 little dogs. It's me and her. I have a good life. You know what I mean? We both make good money. We both got good jobs. We both got our cars. I got a fucking Harley that's about to go in the shop hopefully this week. You know, we got a good life. You know, I made a bar here in my garage, and she never complained once about all the fucking money I was spending doing this kind of shit, you know. And you know, I have a good life. Why would I want to ruin that shit now? I'm like I said, I'm almost 50 years old. I I'm not in my 20s and 30s no more, you know. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything anymore. Like I was that was my problem back in the day, is I thought I was missing out on a lot of shit.
And you always had plan B.
I always had a plan B, and I don't have that. No, I had a plan B and a plan C through all my relationships. I always had a woman, at least one woman on the side that I knew that if shit went wrong in my relationship, I could go to her and stay with her. And this woman, and every single time it was a woman that didn't even know that I was in a relationship or that I was married. I mean, I was able to hide it that well, where these women didn't even know I was in a relationship or I was even married. And when things went wrong with my relationship, I got tired of my relationship and I wanted to get out of it. Boom, I hit up that girl and I go stay with her for a while, and then I get my own place and start all over again. And then, you know, that's just what my lifestyle was like for a very long time. And it's very hard to do that. And I just didn't want to do it no more. And so, and then when I found her, I was like, oh, if I can get with her, I'm not doing it no more. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lose that, and I'm not gonna start all over again, especially at this age. Fuck that. I don't want to do all that. Even though I could, I make enough money to live by myself. I don't need her to live. You know, actually, this place is my place. She moved in here. She's be the one that's leaving here. I keep the fucking bar in the house. She's gone. You know, but yeah. So,
Chris, what happened? You're in some. It says he's. What is that? Taking all the advice right now. I mean, Chris, ask us if what questions that you have. What are you going through right now?
Hey, I appreciate it, man. You know, everything's good right now. I'm not sick today. You know, I'm trying to cycle, so at 22 SGV, I'm doing good, man. Today I'm not sick. Um, I'm doing pretty good today. Oh, what's up, Stone Lord? That's my partner from Instagram. This dude got all kinds of fucking toys.
You'll have to show me.
Yeah, he has a fucking room with all kinds of toys. Like he's like toys, like shit from like Transformers. Like fuck, I'll show you a picture of it. He has a room full of fucking toys from the 80s and shit.
Antiques?
Like no, antiques.
Vintage. Vintage.
Transformers, all kinds of shit. I was like, damn, he has like all kinds of stuff that from when I was a kid. Like, man, I ain't seen that kind of shit in a long time. He has all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not trying to change you. You know, that's one thing that we said from the very beginning. You know, we are who we are, and love us the way we are right now. But it took relationships, a lot of relationships with me, a lot of relationships with him, you know, to come to where we're at right now. And I think that, you know, when you're finding, and if you find yourself in a pattern that's over and over and over again, you got to ask yourself, maybe I'm the problem. We had that discussion too.
Well, that's my thing. That's what helped me fix my issues, is because I realized that it was me that was the problem. You know what I mean? I lost everything over and over again because of myself. I did all these things to myself. I was paying all this fucking child support every month because of myself, because I chose to do things the wrong way. You know, I chose to have 5 kids and 3 mothers. That was my fault. You know what I mean? And starting over and over again in relationships and losing everything, that was my fault. You know, so I had to come to the realization that it was me and nobody else. And so I had to fix that, because if not, I'd continue doing the same thing over and over again. I'll be doing it now. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to start all over again. I don't, and especially right now, who knows how much time I got left? What makes anybody think that with dealing with stage 4 cancer right now in my life, who knows how much time I have left, and why would I want to start all over again? Shit, if things went wrong with me and her, I'd probably just end up at my dad's house, because he lives by himself. He got a 4-bedroom house. It's just him. So if something went wrong, I'd probably just end up over there with my dad. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what else am I gonna do? I don't want to start all over again. So I just don't have the time for that shit.
Now we were joking around the other day, and we were saying, man, imagine if I left your ass in the middle of chemo.
Yeah, and then the thing is, like, she
I
did
told
that.
him you would ban me. I would be banned.
She would be fucking banned.
There'll be all kinds of hoes up in here.
There'll be all kinds of women. Yeah, I definitely would put a stripper pole in here. You know what I mean? Because
but I'm not opposed to a stripper pole here now.
But it's like, I know there's too many women out there. Like, oh yeah, she left. And like, oh shit, Mike by himself. Let me go head on over there.
But see how we can joke about that. We say stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, Rachel, we there's no bullshit in our relationship. Well, it is what it is. We say this is what it is. And again, so people can see that we're on the live together, and I'm saying the same shit that I say by myself. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to lie about, and she ain't got nothing to lie about. You know what I mean? And yeah, Alfred and Gailey, they had a real good relationship. They were together for as long as I known them. I mean, that's my cousin, and as in my whole life, I've only seen him with his wife. They had a great relationship. I'm 49 years old, so for 49 years, and they were together before I was even born. So, I've known them to be together for 49 years, and they had a great relationship. And it sucks that that he passed, but they had a really good, strong relationship. They were together for so many years, like over 50 years.
Yeah, you can't be with somebody and expect to change them. When you choose to love somebody, you're loving the whole person, not just one part and be like, okay, I don't like this part and I'm going to change it. Oh, I'll get with him. He'll change. That's never, if that's how you're walking into a relationship, it's never going to work out. Never.
Yeah, never think for 1 minute that you can change somebody. You can't. They just you can't change them, and she can't change me. There's no way. I'm gonna change because I want to change, not because she's trying to make me change. Because when you try to do that shit, I'm gonna go against you. You know what I mean? Or there's times where she tells me, like, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't say that, and I tell her, because, okay, like, say for instance, like, we're driving around somewhere and somebody pisses me off and I get mad, I get like kind of like road rage. Not like when I get out and fuck nobody up or nothing, but
the old you would have.
Yeah. But she's like, you shouldn't say that or whatever. And I'm like, the more you tell me I shouldn't do something, the more that I'm gonna do it. That's just the way that I am. If she tells me that I shouldn't do something, it's like, wait a minute, you ain't my fucking mother. Don't tell me what I should and shouldn't do. You know what I mean? So I tell her, like, look, man, how many times I gotta tell you? Don't tell me not to do something because I'm gonna do it again just because you said that. You know what I mean? And so she still does it though. And I say, man, you're upsetting me when you do that because I'm gonna do it again and I'm gonna do it on purpose, just because. It's like, don't change me. This is the way that I am. Yeah, sometimes I get pissed off and I get road rage, but I don't get out and do nothing to nobody. I just get mad and I'm killing that person in my mind. That's all I'm doing.
Repeatedly,
leave
over
me
and over again.
Leave me alone. Let me be in my fantasy of hurting this person because I can't do it the way that I can't physically go out and do that. But I get upset, and so the first thing that comes to my mind is hurting that person, and so I'm killing them in my own mind. Leave me alone. Let me go through my thoughts and give me 10 minutes, and I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think when people, and this is just us, this is my second marriage. This is his third marriage. once you get to a point where you're like, nothing, the grass is never greener on the other side, right? You just have to be honest with yourself and be like, dude, why did you keep doing this over and over and over again? You know, why am I in and out of these relationships that aren't good for me? Um, you just have to lay it all on the table. You got to find someone that's on your level, that's ready to, that's on the same, not even in the same book, really on the same page. Because that's what we did. I think one of the first things you told me right off the bat, I think like the first month we were talking, he told me, this is what I want. This is how I am. If that's not what you want, don't waste my time.
Yeah.
And right away, like he knew he was going to marry me.
You know, my thing was like this, and I told her like this: I'm going a certain direction. This is where I'm headed. If you want to go, then go. If you don't, then don't. You know what I mean? Because that's just wasting each other's time. This is where I'm going because you know that, and we've talked about this before, and we've had this discussion before in other lives and stuff like that, and people don't seem to understand it, and that's cool. You don't have to understand it. You know what I mean? But we live an old school lifestyle. You know what I mean? She goes where I go. If I'm going this direction, that's where she's going. You know what I mean? I'm the man here. She's not the man in my relationship. She doesn't tell me what to do. She's my wife. I don't tell her what to do either. Don't get it
Don't get
mistaken.
it twisted. It's
I
not
don't
like
tell her
that
what to
either.
do. I don't cuss at her. I don't call her names. I don't tell her fuck you and stuff like that.
We've never said those
I don't
things
talk
to each
like that
other,
to her
ever.
because she's my wife. I don't disrespect. I would never let another man tell her that. So why would I do that? I don't put my hands on her because I would never let somebody else do that to her. So why would I do that? You know what I mean? So that's not my thing. And I don't like people like that. I can't stand that. You know what I mean? Any man that puts his hands on this woman and smacks her around, beats her up, that I don't like that. You know what I mean? So I don't do that. But I am in charge here. I make the final decision here. But at the same time, okay, for instance, my bike. My bike is parked right here. You can't see it right now, but it's parked right here. And I'm about to throw it in the shop, and I'm about to spend a few grand on it to get it ready for Born Free, the bike show next month, at the end of next month.
Oh yeah, if any of you guys are going to Born Free, we're going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to be at Born Free over in Silverado, but we'll be there on Saturday, not Sunday, Saturday. But anyways, you know, if I want to, I'd throw the bike in the shop. I'll buy the rims, buy the bars, all the shit that I want. I go through the shop. I don't have to tell her nothing. I don't have to ask her nothing. I have my own cards. I can do what I want. But I came and told her first, hey, this is what it is. This is what's going to cost. And this is what I want to do. You know, if she would have said no, then I said, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? I understand. But she was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. So the bike's going to go in the shop hopefully during the week or next week, whatever.
And you're
It's going to the shop.
excited.
I am. You know, but I don't just do things like that. I go to her and let her know, you know. But then again, if she told me no and I really wanted it, I'll tell her like, hey, I'm gonna do it anyway, and we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna do it anyway because I need to get it done, you know. But she's not like that. She's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's what you're gonna do. You know, then go ahead. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier, you know, for her to say, okay, that's cool, you know, because we do make good money. We do work hard, both of us, you know. And so I was like, fuck it, let's do it, you know. And so I don't just make decisions and do things on my own. I go to her first. But again, I'm going to make the final decision here. And she's not my, you know, like I said in other videos, there's a man and there's a woman. If she's the man, then obviously I'm the woman. If she's running shit around here, then I'm the woman in the relationship. And that's not going to happen. And I know people that are like that. I know people that are like that. You know what I mean? Their woman is actually running the whole household. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, you know you're the woman in that relationship. You ain't man enough. She's not, and that's the messed up thing about it, is she is not, this woman is not letting you be the man that you should be. And she's taking control of your relationship because she doesn't have the trust in you because you ain't the man that you're supposed to be.
But with that being said, I'm pretty sure there's relationships out there that it is the opposite and it works for them. I personally wanted a husband or a partner when we first started talking. I was like, you know, I'm looking for someone to lead, that leads our marriage. You know, I'm not trying to lead. I want a strong man that's going to lead us in the direction that we both want to go. But with that being said, he also does come to me and ask me for my advice or opinion or, you know, whatever. We do talk everything out first before making the next move. He, you know, but that's exactly what I wanted. So you people out there that are having problems or whatever, you guys just have to like figure that out. You got to talk it out and be that way and just kind of lay it all out and be like, this is what we're looking for. But you know, again, I didn't get it right the first time. He didn't get it right the last two times.
Plenty of times.
But it took this long for us to find each other and be like, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it works, you know. But it's all because it's honesty, you know what I mean?
You know, I'm 50. He's 49. So just, you know, I get it, you know, just be patient. I don't think there's a timeline of age of when you purchase a house, make a next move, you know, make some investments. There's, you know, 57 and still waiting. Good for you. That means you're not jumping into anything quickly with just anyone, you know?
Let me see what this is. Chris is saying over here. I can't see this. Why is it?
Oh, you got to push it up.
I'm trying to.
Oh.
There he goes. I don't want to do all that. There he goes. Let me see.
So yeah, we've been together 5 years. So I was 45 when we met each other, and he was 44.
What is it? I can't scroll up, Chris, but let me see, man.
He's having problems with his fiance, he said.
Oh, relationship problem with my fiance. Yeah, what's the problem though? You know? Because if there's a problem, it's gonna be you or her.
Or a little of both.
Yeah, a little of both, you know. But what's the actual problem?
He can't be himself. What does that mean? What's yourself?
Yeah, what are you trying to do? Yeah, 50, 56, man, you still got a lot of time and shit, man, you know. Just get out there and shit. You should be out there having fun, man. You know? You're if you're 56 and you're single, man, you should just be out there having fun and shit, man. There's plenty of women out there, believe me, man. Go get yourself a fucking Harley. Go get a Harley. That's what I suggest you go get a Harley, and then I would introduce you to them people, man. You have a good time. You get a Harley, man, and they throw it at you. Believe me, it ain't a lie.
So, Chris, if you feel that someone is trying to change you and you're unhappy about it and you already know that, then maybe you guys aren't on the same page.
Here's something on the table.
I know. What does that mean? Oh, here.
What the hell is that? That's pretty fucking dumb.
Good old TikTok.
You have to turn it again.
Like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody can change you. You know what I mean? People will try, you know, women and men try to change, and I ain't gonna lie, it's mainly women who will try to change a dude to make them what they want them to be. You know what I mean? You can't, no matter how much you do it, no matter how much you try to change somebody, they're always gonna go back to the way they were because that's the way they are.
That's who they are.
Yeah, they're gonna go back to that. So that person has to change themselves for their own personal reasons. You know what I mean? I got to change myself. You can't change me. If you're trying to change me, I might change for the moment, but I'm always going to go back to being myself, who I am, because that's where I'm happy. You know, so she didn't change me when we got into the relationship. I changed myself, and it worked.
But because he told me a lot of stuff from the very beginning about who he was, we talked a lot. I like saying that we created our roots. Those are the roots, right? You need a strong foundation in a relationship, and you're planting those seeds for in the beginning. You're planting those seeds, those become your roots in the relationship. And in the very beginning, when he was telling me all of this, it was kind of like, okay. And I remember being a little scared, like, whoa, this guy has a pretty heavy past. He was a big cheater. But I knew how he made me feel. So it was like, I was very aware. So I wasn't stupid. I knew what to look for. And it was kind of like, okay, let's actions always speak louder than words. That is the most true statement. A man can sit there and tell you everything you want to hear, but the actions will always speak louder than those fake words.
Okay, like you say, Queen Chula, you said that you're newly single. So I would say don't even get into a relationship right now. Don't even have fun. You know what I mean? You're 37 or you're gonna be 37. Have fun. Even this, you know, you don't want to get out of a relationship and then get into another one. You know what I mean? I would say I would leave my options open. You know, like right now. I mean, I'm 49. Okay. Oh, 2.5 years. Well, that's something different, you know. But what is that? Oh shit. What is that?
It's a skip
Yeah,
ad.
skip.
2.5 years. So
Well,
to
first of
me,
all, there's a lot to it though. I mean, what does that person have to offer you? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like I've told my kids, if you're gonna get with somebody, make sure they got what you got. You know what I mean? Like, does the dude have his own place? Does he live with a roommate? Does he have a good job? You know what I mean? Those kind of things. You know what I mean? Because from my point of view, though, like I would tell my friends, a male, okay, they're interested in this chick, but what does she got? Does she got her own house? She got her own apartment? She got her own place? Does she live with somebody? Does she have a decent job? How many kids she got? You know what I mean? Because you know what? It all comes down to if I, for instance, for me, if I'm a single guy and I meet a woman and she got she works at freaking Home Depot or something, or she's a secretary, or she's a medical assistant. She's not really making that much money. She lives with her parents, or she lives with a roommate because she can't afford to live on her own. She's got 2 kids. Okay, all that stuff is a burden on me now. That's the way I see it. That's what I tell my sons. That's what I tell my friends, and that's what I tell you. What does that person have to offer you? What do they have to bring to the table? Because they don't have nothing to bring to the table. If you ain't got nothing to bring to the table, then you just don't eat. I'm not here to support you. You know what I mean? So you should make sure that whoever the person is that you're talking about has what you have. And if you both ain't got shit, well, okay, well then you're gonna build together. You know what I mean? But if you got your stuff together and this person ain't got their stuff together, well, you're starting from a struggle. You know what I mean? And that might not work.
And then sometimes you'll end up resenting that.
Yep.
You'll end up resenting
like,
it at some point. Like I'm doing all the hauling. I'm doing I'm floating us, you know.
Because when me and her met, we were both broke. She came to my house here, and my ex that was living here with me before took everything. And I'm talking about everything. This place looked like nobody had lived here. It was like abandoned. I lived in this place with nothing. I had nothing. You know what I mean? It was completely empty, like an abandoned house. You know what I mean? And so she didn't have nothing. I didn't have nothing. Now we have everything. You know, it took us 5 years. We built it all up. You know what I mean? But we were two broke motherfuckers together. You know what I mean?
I was coming out of a relationship.
Yeah. But if she came here and I had I owned this place and I had everything and she had nothing, hey, I don't know if I would have been in the relationship with her. Like, damn, you know, I got to take care of you now. You ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? I got to start all over with you. So that's my thing. At a certain age, you got to look at what the other person got. If you ain't got nothing, then you ain't eating, and that's just the way it is. This stupid ass thing.
Let me see.
I like these beers because they don't give me buzz at all. Yeah, I'm talking stupid shit.
I feel like his past, he has mixed feelings. Queen, you mean the person you're with, you feel like he has mixed feelings because of his past? I think a lot of us, we need to really, if there's any questions, any doubts, any red flags that come up, you guys need to pay attention to those flags. Especially if you're older, if we're older here, yeah, like the women he's been around.
Okay, for like the people that are on, there's people on TikTok, there's people on YouTube, and my mother is on YouTube, so you can't see what she's saying. But she says, stay single for a few years before another relationship. But really, if I were you, find and love you first. Which is true. Okay, that's one thing that I had to learn how to do. Okay, and that was love myself. You have to realize that nobody, not even her, she could never love me the way that I love myself. I love me more than anything else. I love my wife, of course. You know what I mean? There's nothing I wouldn't do for my wife. She's my wife. I love my wife. But I love me more. I have to. And I would hope that my wife loves herself more than she loves me. She has to. You know what I mean? So you got to find the love in yourself, the love for yourself. When you learn how to love yourself unconditionally, then you could love somebody else the same way. But if you don't love yourself unconditionally, then how can you love somebody else that way? You know what I mean? So you better learn how to love yourself first before you love somebody else, and take care of yourself, and always know that you come first. I come first. My wife, she should come first. You know what I mean? And then, okay, now we can love each other. You know what I mean? But again, if you don't love yourself, then how do you know how to love somebody else?
I think when you learn to love yourself, that's when you start telling yourself, this is what I deserve. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what everyone has their wants and then their needs. But once you learn to love yourself, then you're willing to, you start setting those boundaries of what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And there's nothing absolutely wrong with setting those boundaries. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Because if you don't start that way, what's going to happen is you're going to end up in a failed relationship. You're going to be in a relationship that you start questioning everything. Like if you're questioning, there's already something wrong there. If you're fighting already right away, there's something already wrong there. You just pay attention. When you're walking into a relationship or when you're in the dating scene, you should do it with very open eyes. You should be dating when you learn to love yourself and what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it some time, you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you straight up, and this is me being honest, man, as a man, as a man, you know what I mean? I used to play a lot of games with women. I used to, I would go out of my way to make women fall for me just because I wanted them, just because I wanted them to tell me that they loved me.
It was a game.
It was a game that I was playing with them, and I would do anything just to get them to do it. And then once they did it, once I got them where I wanted them to be, then I didn't want them no more. It was just a game that I was playing. Or they had something that I needed. And and that goes back to me being locked up, you know what I mean? When I was younger and I was locked up and I didn't have nobody to take care of me. You know, my mother wasn't making all kinds of money where she could send me money all the time and send me packages all the time. I had to figure out how to live being incarcerated without people sending me money. And so I learned how to manipulate women. You know, and I took that with me when I came to the street, and that's how I survived for so many years, is manipulating women, you know, and getting what I needed from them. You know, if there was something that they had that I needed, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I had to do to get it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be nice to your kids. I'm gonna be nice to your mother. I'm gonna go over there and pet your fucking dog if I have to. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be the nicest guy in the world. But my focus was to get what I need to get from you. And once I got it, then it was just a matter of time before I was gone. You know what I mean? And that's the way that people are. You know what I mean? That's the way that men are, and women are the same way.
You know what I call that? I call that love bombing. And you females know what that means.
I just, you know,
you were a love bomber, and love bombers from the very beginning are red flags. Right, ladies?
I was just doing what I had to do to survive. You know what I mean? And you know, there's a lot of guys out there like that. There's a lot of women out there like that. You know, and there's people out there that don't like me talking about it. You know, I did a video on that kind of stuff of how when I was busted, I had at one point when I was busted, I had 18 different women that I was writing to. Well, not women, because I was young. You know, I had 18 different girls that I was writing to at one time, and I loved every single one of them according to them. But they all loved me, and they were sending me my packages, and they were sending me my money. And then when my homeboys that I was locked up with, they didn't have nothing. Well, guess what? I get a hold of one of these girls.
Share.
I would give it to my boys. Like, here, I'm gonna take care of you. I write one of these girls, but hey, what's up? You know, how you doing? And how's everything going? I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you when I get out. Didn't even never see them a day in my life. You know what I mean? And they send some money, send the package. They go straight to the homie that ain't got nothing. That's what I was doing. You know, and then when I come out, I was doing the same thing because I needed to survive. You know, so that's when it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how when you're going to get in a relationship with somebody, make sure they got what you got. Because if they ain't got shit, most likely they're just using you to get something. Oh yeah,
you're a narcissist?
Hey, Mondo. Yeah, hey, this dude told me one day he messaged me on Instagram, and he's like, hey, bro, like, hey, why you giving up the info, man? You know what I mean? Like, that why you giving up the game and shit? I'm like, hey, check it out, man. I'm not giving up nothing. If a woman's that dumb to think that her man is just right to her, and she's never met this dude in her life, he's in prison. She's never met him a day in her life, and he's in love with her, and he's you're a fool. You know what I mean? You're a fool to think that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not giving no game. Everybody knows the game. It's who's stupid enough to fall for the game. You know what I'm saying? If my wife, I tell you right now, if my wife went to fucking prison, I wouldn't wait a month. Okay? She got 10 years in prison. I'm not waiting no month. I'm still going to be here for you. I'll write you, send you some money, but I'm not waiting nothing. When you come home, we'll talk about that. But you're going to be gone for a while. I'm not waiting for you. You know what I mean? And you do what you got to do to survive in there. I'll take care of you while you're gone, but, you know, I'm taking care of me too because I love me. I'm not waiting on nobody. You know what I mean? So, but, yeah, that's just the way people are. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, hey, make sure that that if you're going to get into a relationship, make sure they have something to bring to the table. Because if you have something to bring to the table, then you have something to lose. If you ain't got nothing to bring to the table, what the fuck you got to lose? You're going to lose. The other person ain't got nothing to lose. He ain't bringing nothing to the table, or she's not bringing nothing to the table. They just become a dependent on your taxes. That's all they are. You ain't got shit. You're just dependent on my taxes now. And I got to feed you, and I got to feed your funky ass kids. You know, so, that's another subject that that came up was the thing.
Deal breakers.
No, I was watching this thing. She wasn't watching with me, but I was watching this thing the other day where the guy had said, he told the woman, because she had a son, and, you know, from another relationship, and he had said something about about the son, about who comes first, her son or him. And she said, well, of course, my son. That's my son. He comes first. And he said, well, fuck that. I can't be in a relationship with you. You know what I mean? And that's true. That's very true. My wife has 2 sons. My wife cannot put her 2 sons before me. I have 2 sons and 3 daughters. I would never put my kids before my wife. They don't even live with me. They're grown. You know what I'm saying? Her kids are grown. But even if it was my kids were little, my kids would not come before my wife because that puts my wife in an awkward situation.
I wouldn't want my sons to put me as their mother first. Their wife comes first. My oldest son, I have 2 boys, 17 and 29. My oldest one watches my marriage, and he also wants that old school type of relationship that I have, you know, and we do. We visibly share you guys, if you follow us, you see that we share our relationship. We share our marriage isn't fake. It's how it's portrayed and how you see it is pretty much how we live every single day. We don't cuss at each other, like we said. I've never said a bad word to him. He's never said a bad word to me, never said anything like that disrespectful to me, because once you cross that line, it's really hard to not uncross it, you know? But I would not want our kids, we teach them, we nurture them, we're there for them, and then we set them off, right? They don't stay with us. They find their own relationships, and they're set off into the world on a new journey on their own, and you wish them the best. I would never want my child to put me before his wife. That's just not how it's going to happen. And I would never put my kids before my husband. That might be a little controversial to some people.
Yeah.
But to us, and my kids know that. My kids realize that, and I would hope that when they raise their children, they'll show their children that you will not disrespect my wife, their mother. And that's how you're teaching your kids boundaries and how to respect the females in their lives.
Yeah, I did. I did, Mondo. I adopted a full grown ass kid, my stepson. He's a grown ass man.
You put everyone before your wife, and how did that turn out for you?
You guys gotta go.
I do have to say, in my last relationship that I was in, that was one of the things that I honestly, it ruined the relationship. Why I was not happy in it was he was a great guy, good person, but I always felt like I wasn't his ride or die. I never felt like he would put me first. I always felt like he put everybody else first, and then, you know, since I'm around, you know, I'll get to you when I can get to you, type of thing. And it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted and what I needed, and I told him that's what I needed and what I wanted. And he basically just said, well, I can't give you what you want. I am how I am, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So that's when we realized, we kind of looked at each other and said, then we can't be together at this point. And that was 11 years later.
Yeah, Rachel, you're right. You know what I mean? If you're miserable, you've put yourself in that situation. You know what I mean? You're in control of your own life. You're in control of your own happiness.
Your own destiny.
Every single person is in control of their own. If you're unhappy, that's your fault. You're allowing yourself to be that way. You know what I mean? So you're in control of everything. You know what I mean? She can't control my happiness and my misery. I'm controlling that shit, you know? So yeah, you're in control of your own happiness and your own misery. So if you're miserable, you better look at yourself.
Is there any situation in which you would not put husband before your children?
I'll fuck her 2 sons up quick.
My kids actually really like him. I think I have an answer for that. My children know how our marriage is, and I want that same fundamental practice in their relationships. I try to teach them that premise. But I feel like if my child was going through something, they know that it's going to be a package deal type of thing. They know that already. So they know that if I need my mom, it's my mom and Mike. They know that. Both of them know that. And I want them to have those same principles as well.
But but I'm straight up honest with both of them two guys myself. I I talk to them the same way. That I'm talking right here. I give them advice and I try to tell them the right things to do. If they ever want to come talk to me about something, they can. Because I'm always honest with them. I won't bullshit them. And I tell them the way things are. So them two, they can always come to me and talk to me about things. I don't think there's a situation where, because like you asked her that, but like if I put that in on me, like would I do anything is there any situation I'd be in to put my kids first? No, there's not. Because you know what? They ain't here paying my bills. They're not here living with me daily. I'm going through stage 4 cancer. They're not here daily with me. My wife is. So no, there's nothing. There's nothing that I would choose my kids over my wife. Nothing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I can't do that. They're grown. We're not talking about little kids here. Her kids are grown. My kids are grown. So. But then again, you gotta give us some kind of what is there something that you're talking about though?
So somebody here on TikTok said that their grown daughters in their 30s, don't agree with putting the wife first in a marriage that of 6 years. It can be a little different. I have boys. It can be different with girls. Girls seem to be a little bit more territorial over their parent. I think that's a good time to sit down with your kids, or that don't agree with that, and be like, this is why it is how it is. And it's kind of like, if you sit down and explain and be honest about it and be like, this is why, and this is what I wish for you as well when it comes to that. I think people are a little more open to understanding if you sit down and have an honest, open conversation with your kids about that. Yeah, Richard, yeah, it was Richard that I was talking to. Yeah, it's unfortunate because they should be happy for you that you found happiness again.
The thing is, like, okay, my last relationship I was in, it was okay, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna bullshit. My two daughters kind of screwed it up too. You know what I mean? My two daughters kind of screwed it up, with the way they were acting toward my ex. You know what I mean? Because they didn't like her for whatever their reasons were. So they were like, we're not going to come visit you no more and all this and that shit. And so, it was just a big problem. It started because of my two daughters. And I learned a lesson from that. You know what I mean? And now my oldest daughter, she's married. She has her kids and all that stuff like that. She lives away with her husband and all that stuff like that. And it kind of affected the relationship. You know what I mean? And so I learned from that. I learned because I did try to put my daughters first. I tried to deal with their feelings and shit like that, and I shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? And it caused a divide between me and my other relationship. You know what I mean? But not just that wasn't the only thing. But that was one of the things. You know what I mean? And I would never do that again. My daughters ain't got nothing to say about my wife and my relationship. I would never choose my daughters over my wife. I would never choose my sons over my wife. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, don't come over here. If you don't like my wife, don't come over. This is her house. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And so I couldn't put my kids before my wife, because in the end, my wife's the one that's here with me, laying in bed with me at night. She's the one taking care of me while I'm sick and all that shit like that, and going through this whole thing that I'm going through. So there's no way that I would put my kids before my wife. They're grown anyway. We're not talking, like I said, we're not talking about little kids. They're grown ass adults, so
Somebody asked when the situation is when you would put a child before your spouse when they're little. I mean, when they're little, if you're together and they're little, I mean,
but then
little children require a lot from their
but
parent.
then again, I gotta have an example, man, because you could have one of the little silver-tooth kids, and he's a little jerk. You know what I mean? We don't know the situation.
I just realized what you said.
Yeah, we don't know the situation. You know what I mean? You got to give me an example. Like, why? What are you saying? You know what I mean? Because I was in a relationship with girls where their kids were terrible, and I'm like, I ain't dealing with this shit.
So Chris says that his fiance is trying to make him choose between his mom over her because he takes care of the mom, but that's different.
That's different, man.
That's an elderly.
Your mom's an elderly lady, and she has a problem with you taking care of your mom, but I would get rid of her quick. You know what I mean? If my mom is elderly and she's sick, and some woman has a problem with me taking care of my mother, you gotta go. You know what I mean? You should be right there. Like, that woman should be like, hey, man, she should be pushing you to do even more and say, hey, man, this is your mother. You gotta take care of her. You know what I mean? Because you know what? What if her mother was in that situation? And you're like, man, we always taking care of this old ass lady for? You know what I mean? Like, man, we always got to go with it. We always got to do this. You know what I mean? So if that's your mother, that's something totally different. Your mother's an elderly woman. This woman has a problem with you taking care of your elderly mother. Yeah, I would get the hell out of that real quick.
I don't know. In our culture, we don't put our parents in homes. They stay with us. So even him and I have talked about my mom. My mom's, she's by herself in her own home right now, but she is 76. And it kind of, when that time comes where she needs to live with either my brother or myself, he says, mom's coming with Nana's coming with us, because
my mother-in-law's elderly. She still takes care of herself, but when the time comes, where she can't really be taking care of herself. I already told my wife, she's gonna come over here and stay with us, or what she has to stay with us. We're not gonna put her in no home and shit. That's just not our thing. And so she and the thing is, my mother-in-law would do the same thing for me. If what I'm going through right now, if my wife told her, hey, can you go over and check on him? He's not feeling too good. She would come over here and look after me and make sure I'm okay. You know what I mean? So I would not let her be put in no home. If she doesn't go with her son, then she comes over here with us, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way we are. Yeah. My wife is my first priority, Mom. Always. My kids do not come first, especially now when they're adults. They don't come first. I wouldn't even put them. They don't even come second. My dogs come second. I got 2 dogs. And my dogs come after my wife.
It's a joke.
No, it's not a joke. My fucking dogs come before anybody else.
If you guys, thank you guys for taking the time out and just to listen to us and roll around these ideas. If you haven't already, feel free to follow us on YouTube. We do go live on here at times too. On TikTok too, but this is the content that we put out. Sometimes the videos are done by him by himself. Otherwise, sometimes they're done with me as well. That's true. That's true, Angie. Kids are not going to put us first before their spouses, so I agree.
Shit, man, when the kid's a teenager, the kid put his friends before his parents.
My kids stop hanging out with me. If you follow me on Instagram, you're constantly seeing me post memories of my youngest one. I've always had a child for 29 years. My kids are 12 years apart. So for 29 years, I had a little buddy all the time. And I'm going through, I guess, what some people would call withdrawals of a child, I guess. But my 17-year-old stopped hanging out with me when he was about 14 years old, 13, 14, They don't put us first anymore.
Who's IG Queen Chola? Mine or hers? I'm not single.
I'm not single either.
Yeah, I'm not single.
Maybe it's me.
Oh, it's the same as the TikTok. The same as TikTok. Send me a message.
Oh, you know what's really funny? Okay, wait.
DM me.
You want to know what's really funny? Queen, if you follow the IG Chicano Style Bikers, is his IG is the same name, but if you go on his IG, you'll find me on there too. So feel free to give me a follow. But you know what's really funny with that being said? DM me. So what's really funny is a lot of females don't realize that the TikTok, I actually run that page. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so we either doing the little fucking messages and stuff like that. So I don't see them because I don't even get on that fucking TikTok.
So I always get the messages from some females, and I'm like, I'll actually screenshot it and send it to him. I go, hey, someone just DM'd you.
Yeah, we're at the bar. We're in the bar right now.
This is our bar in our garage. It has a name. It's called The Barrage. It also has its own IG.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, it has a. If you guys go to what is it?
Either one of us.
No. Yeah, but you can go on Instagram to. Is it The Barrage?
The Barrage. So it's like garage except with the B.
But is it a spaces or anything?
Yeah, it's the space Barrage.
Space or underscore?
2023 or underscore.
Yeah, it's the underscore Barrage. That's like garage, but with a B. Underscore 2024?
2020. Oh, yeah. 2023. You did it when you got your cancer diagnosis. Yeah. So we opened up this bar. So we actually have like bike night here. Not bike night, but bike day. The next event that we're probably going to do is called the barbecue.
The barbecue.
And we open it up to everybody. So we actually will advertise it on TikTok for our followers, for IG, and we'll open it up and everyone's welcome. You just got to act right. Bring what you drink. This is the worst place to have a great time, by the way.
It's the underscore Barrage underscore 2023. And so you can go right there and you'll see like pictures that people post or, videos and shit that we do right here.
We have fight nights here.
Yeah, fight nights right here. Whenever the fight, you see the TV is right there. So it's hanging on the wall. Right now it's got a little fish tank thing on it. But
we are in Upland.
Yeah, we're in Upland.
That's Southern California.
Appreciate it, Sarah. We both appreciate you guys following us,
Again, if you guys really like the
Chris,
content,
take care, bro.
Give us a follow. Follow us on IG. Follow us on YouTube.
Hey, yeah, Queen, like, hey, you're right here. You know what I mean? You're just over the hill. You know what I mean? I live over in Upland. I'm not too far. I work in La Puente. So, when we have things here and we post it, we tell people to come through. Everything. Usually I'll buy the food. You know what I mean? I'll smoke some meat. I have a hot dog machine in my garage. I have a popcorn machine in my garage. I have a smoker in my backyard. So when people come here, I usually go down and I buy things to cook. Like I'll make. There's one time I made a whole pig. I smoked a whole pig.
I couldn't eat it.
Yeah, she couldn't eat it, but I smoked a whole pig, and people came over here, and we were partying right here. I had the garage open. Bunch of people. They finished the whole pig. It was probably like a 30-pound pig that I smoked in my smoker, and we had like pulled pork sandwiches, and we were watching the fights. Another time, the last time we did something, I went down to Costco and I bought a bunch of Costco hot dogs, and I have a hot dog machine in my garage, like they have at 7-Eleven. And I put those on the little hot dog machine with the buns and all that stuff. And people, they killed all them hot dogs. And I don't know how many hot dogs came in them 3 packages that I bought, but we bought all kinds of buns, mustard, everything you need. And then, I usually got beer here. I always got a bunch of whiskey and shit like that. You know what I mean? Whiskey.
Mixed drinks.
Yeah, we have whiskey, vodka, gin. I have all that. I have like, I don't know, probably like 40 bottles of alcohol. You know what I mean? Sitting in the bar on the walls and shit like that. And so when we have people come over here, a lot of the times people bring a bottle and they'll leave it here, and then they'll bring beer. We have 2 refrigerators in the garage. So, you know, they put the beer in the garage, you know, and I always have stuff here for people to eat, you know, whether it's, I'll have a popcorn machine here, so we'll make popcorn, or I'll have a rack in here where I have chips and sunflower seeds and beef jerky and shit like that. So, you know, we do it up over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, it gets hot. I'm thinking about buying a small little air conditioner for the garage so I can keep the door closed and run the air conditioner in here.
But you'll have a great time.
Yeah, we say
Horrible place for
yeah,
a great time.
Yeah, it's a horrible place to have a good time.
That's our motto.
Yeah, Jack and Coke.
It's a 1-star establishment.
Yeah, I got
Melissa. What do you mean? Who's TikTok? Because you're on Chicano Style Bikers TikTok right now.
Yeah, this is my. Well, it's not really. Yeah, it's mine. You know what I mean? But she did. Do you have your own?
No, I don't have my own.
Okay, so she's on this one. She runs the TikTok.
I run the TikTok.
I don't know nothing about TikTok. You know what I mean? So she runs the TikTok and but I guess she don't have her own TikTok. You know, I have my
own IG. I have my own Instagram. That's what I meant, your wife. Yeah, I actually run this TikTok page. Yeah, so I always get the messages for him from the ladies.
Yeah, you gotta fucking DM me on Instagram. Don't be putting the messages on here. You get me in trouble.
My IG is Lass Taps, so it's LASS_TAPS. Lass Taps.
There's a bunch of dudes jumping on that shit right now.
Don't be a hater.
She don't look like this in regular person. These are all filters.
Boy, this ain't a filter right now.
There's filters and makeup is all it is.
What size? Somebody asked, what size is that TV? I'm telling you, it's not big enough.
No, it's not. That's a 40. No, that's
50,
a 50. I think it's a 50.
No, it's bigger than that.
55?
Something like that.
Yeah, it might be a 55. I don't know. Yeah, I think so, because I think the one in the living room is like 65, and that's the one I want to bring in here because I seen a 85-inch TV at Best Buy, and then people were stupid enough to give me a credit card recently. But I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to spend money on my bike.
Richard, you can either go here, but we'd love if you would follow us on YouTube. We're trying to grow our following on YouTube. The YouTube channel is the same name as the TikTok.
You'll see the same logo and everything.
The same logo and everything is on there. If you want to send a message, and I'll spell it out for you guys. Well, aren't you the man, Mondo?
Yeah, I know. Why don't you bring that shit on over here? Bring that.
Thank you, Smiley Girl.
Fucking Mondo.
I'm glad you guys really like the content. You know, again, this all started with his cancer journey, and then he was like, you know, I want you to start doing videos with me. And I was like, he's a little more outgoing than I am. But this platform has grown, and people have reached out to us and said they really like the content when we do it together. So here I am.
Appreciate Joey's pinup girl. And somebody had hit me up the other day about, hey, what are you gonna do for your wife for Mother's Day? I said, why? She ain't my mother.
But he always does. He'll say that.
Yeah, because if I don't, then it's like you know how it is.
Last year for Mother's Day, I got a puppy, which he took over.
No, it's 2 years. That's 2 years ago.
No.
Yeah, she's already way over 2 years old now.
No.
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's a couple years old.
What'd you give me last year?
Fuck.
I don't know.
Probably perfume.
I love perfume. You guys, I am a hoarder of perfume bottles. I love perfume bottles. I collect them. I love perfume. It never gets old. He always tells me, can you tell me something else that you like besides perfume? I go, but I really like perfume. My son actually hit me up earlier today, and he was like, Mom, is there a perfume bottle you want? Because he already knows. Or I go, what about shoes? I'm super easy. I don't have fancy stuff. I'm not really that type of a person. So I'm like, don't spend money on stuff like that. But perfume, oh yeah, go buy me some perfume bottles. I love them. And then I turned him into a big cologne connoisseur. He turned into a big old cologne whore.
Yeah, but I'm simple, man. I like the old school shit too. Matter of fact,
How
I was
old?
talking to somebody. I was talking to a lady when I was doing my chemo. She's a black lady named Barbara. She's cool as hell.
Is it?
And we were talking the other day when I was doing my chemo. And we were talking about Mother's Day and stuff like that. And she was asking me about. She was telling me about there's some colognes that her husband liked, and I was like, I said, yeah, 'cause I always buy my wife perfume for Mother's Day, and she was like, oh, my husband, like, he likes cologne too. And she's like, but he likes the old stuff. And I said, hey, I like the old stuff. I said, hey, I told her, I said, to be honest with you, if you like the old stuff, go to CVS. Behind the counter CVS, they have all the old stuff. They got Dracar, they got Polo, they got Cool Water.
I cannot
And
with the Dracar.
I love all that. I got Dracar upstairs.
You do not have Dracar.
The hell if I don't. Get the bottle right now. I got Dracar upstairs. I like Dracar. I like Polo. I like Cool Water. I like Curve. I like all that old stuff.
You like Polo?
I like Polo. I like all that old stuff. I even have Chrome. I have Chrome and I have Dracar. Dracar is from the 80s. I love that stuff. You know what I mean? So I like the old school stuff. I got some new stuff. I got some Versace. I got what's the other one?
Versace. Yeah, I got you.
Sauvage.
Sauvage.
But I like the old school stuff, and you can get that all at CVS.
Jimmy Choo. Thank you, Smiley Girl. Thank you so much. We love that you guys like the content that we put out there. Oh, music.
I don't know about that. He said Musk. Hell no.
Oh, he said music.
No, Musk.
What's Musk?
Oh, hell no. That's some old shit from like the 70s or something like that. No way. That's like putting on some Aqua Velva or some. Oh, hell no. Not Musk. Okay, Musk just makes me think of musty ass shit, Yeah, Cool Water. Oh, come on, Mondo. Don't act like you ain't got no Cool Water in your house. Cool Water is one of the best old school colognes. It still smells good. It doesn't matter how old the shit is. You know what I mean? Like
Brut.
Oh yeah, Brut. The green bottle of Brut, or some what's the one, the aftershave stuff with the ship on it. I can't remember the name of it right now. My dad used to wear that crap. They come in a little ceramic bottle.
I kind of remember the ship.
Old Spice. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Old Spice. Man, I think my grandpa Beto used to wear that stuff. Old Spice. My dad used to have it. But yeah, no, I ain't wearing that stuff. But yeah, I'll matter of fact, just because Mondo's over laughing at the Cool Water, I'm gonna give me a bottle of Cool Water. Matter of fact, when I see you, Mondo, I'll probably have a bottle for you. Yeah, Brut, Old Spices. That was old school stuff. Right? I ain't wearing that now though.
Oh no, because he graduated to
Oh, there's another one. See, there you go, right there. The original Hugo Boss. Yes.
Oh no, but Hugo Boss actually came out with some new ones.
The original shit back in the days, But yeah, I like cologne. I have a bunch of cologne in my bathroom. I have a shelf where I have all my cologne on there.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Danny. Thank you for following and and supporting the channel. I'm trying to grow as much as I can, but this shit it takes time, man. I know guys that have been doing it for some years now, and it's hard to get the followers.
What's 1 million? Gold bottle.
Oh yeah, JD's. Yeah. It looks like a gold bar, like a bar of gold. That's what it looks like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lolo's.
Yeah. What's up, bro? That's
Yeah.
That's fuck. Oh Jesus Christ! It's been a long time since I've seen you, man. Carlos.
I don't know.
Yeah, Carlos. That's my videographer right there. He's one who did all my videos. When all the videos we used to do for San Diego, he's the one who filmed all those videos.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah, fucking Carlos.
If you guys go to the YouTube, if you guys go to the YouTube channel, you'll see Lil Lo's video on there.
Yeah, you'll see it at the very bottom of my video.
I should pin it up at the top because it's a badass video.
Aqua de Gio, yeah, that's another one, man. See, I should start writing this shit down because those are the ones that I forgot about.
Aqua de Gio.
Do I?
Yes.
Oh, is that the blue bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost out of that one. Hey, I tell you right now, man, the best one though, my favorite cologne of all time. That I have very little bit left. I need another bottle. Is Intuition by Estee Lauder.
We cannot find that
No,
one.
it can't. You have to go online and get it. I've
Probably,
already seen
it's
it.
probably a bootleg one.
I don't care as long as it smells the same thing.
Wanted. Who makes
I
that
know,
one?
I know, fucking Carlos. That thing is 1 million views, man, and it's on your page, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
You guys
like,
have to check it out. I might just pin it.
And a Carlos, there's a dude. He's called.
Oh, he took the intro. Huh?
Yeah, his name is what's his name? I'll think of it right now. Shit, I got him on my. He's a YouTuber. He has a big YouTube channel, and Sos the Ghost on YouTube. Demons Row is his YouTube channel. Demons Row. If you go to his earliest videos, he is using one of our videos as his intro on a bunch of his videos. And I seen it and I was like, what the hell? Because I'm in his intro. And so I messaged him. I said, hey, you know that video you're using? That's me. That's my video. And I don't care that he used it. I'm not trying to tell him like you can't use it, but I was just like, I just want to let you know that video that you're using for your intro, that's me and all my boys on a ride to San Diego. I didn't tell him to stop using it or nothing like that, but if you go to his Demons Row and you can go to his earliest videos, and even some of the ones like a couple years ago, he still uses the video that you shot for us going to San Diego. The one where we met at the McDonald's, and you were filming it from the car as we're on that rainy day.
Tom Ford's a good one. I think I want to get you that Tom Ford. YSL. Did I get you the YSL?
Yeah. No, you didn't get that for me.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent. I bought that.
Okay, so if you guys go to the videos, he's much more funnier than in those videos.
Yeah, I fuck around a lot. I just don't.
He does a lot. We're all day long, every day. What do I say every day? You're so stupid.
I love that stuff.
He just sent his bike to get painted. What color?
Who's painting your bike?
Pierre Cardin.
Pierre Cardin.
That's another one.
Pierre Cardin. I don't know what the hell it is. I never heard of that one.
I have pearl white. Pearl white. Who's painting it?
My bike is pearl white and teal. So yeah, my bike has a pearl. The white has a pearl. It's a I can't remember the name of the white though. But it's a stock color, but it's a pearl white with flake in it, with like micro flake in it.
His friend.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys out there with white bikes. So
Armani.
So yeah, it's gonna look different because I think I only seen like a couple guys that have all white bikes. You know what I mean? I had a friend that had a bike. It was white, but he had like, pinstriping and shit like that on it, and some filigree. It made it look like a the way the bike was painted was like a Chinese, like China. It was white with cobalt blue, filigree, and pinstripe. That shit was bad. It looked like an old Chinese vase or something like that. The dude was from Orange County, but the bike was white.
Wow, we've been on for 2 hours. Are
Well,
you guys sick of us yet?
At least we had conversation the whole time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we get on here, we're like, okay, what are we talking about? But at least you guys keep it going. Yeah, white with the cobalt blue filigree and pinstriping and shit like that. Not too much, like subtle shit. Like the back of the fender, your rear fender, the back of it, the front of the front fender and the back of the front fender, a little bit of filigree and then pinstriping on the tank and shit like that, all in cobalt blue. It made it, like I said, it made it look like an old Chinese vase. It was really nice. Another bike that I saw though that I really liked, it's around, I can't remember the name. It's called Sweet and Low. The bike is called Sweet and Low, and it's painted gray and pink. But hey, that's one of my favorite bikes. It's a gray and pink bike called Sweet and Low. Oh, you follow the Barrage IG? Yeah, man. That's we post things. Other people post things on there. We tell them when you come over here, go on the Instagram and tag your, like, take pictures here and stuff like that, and then tag yourself being at the Barrage, and then we always ask people to leave a 1-star review. You know what I mean?
We don't strive to be a 4-star.
That's why my thing, it says the worst place to have a good time. You so you have prosthetic, or you don't have prosthetic and you're not riding no more?
Oh yeah, no, Melissa. There's never no drama here.
Yeah, the
Everybody
thing about
knows.
here, when I tell people, you come here, when I have events here, there's usually a lot of people here. Sometimes 20, 30 people here. We all know each other. Everybody knows when they come here, like my people know, don't disrespect my house. You know what I mean? And they would never let anybody else do it. So when I tell people, you come here just with a good attitude. Everybody's friendly here. You know what I mean? And this is mainly for guys, not women, but guys. You know what I mean? Don't come over here with a chip on your shoulder and think you need to come over here and be some tough guy over here, because you could get your ass whooped over here doing that kind of shit. You know what I mean? We like to have a good time. We invite everybody over here, and whether they're strangers, we've had strangers here. We had some people that come over here from like Palmdale. Callie Chula, she comes over here. Her and her man, they came over here before from Palmdale. You know what I mean? We have people that will swing through. I've had people swing through here and drop off things that hang on the wall in here that I don't know. I never met them. They just hit me up on Instagram, like, hey, I got a sign for your garage. Can I bring it to you?
Like, a lot of the stuff that you see here is donated.
Yeah, a lot of stuff you see on these walls in here has been donated to me. You see behind her, there's the bar on the wall. That's all alcohol. Most of that shit has been brought here. There's more on the bottom. You can't see it. Nice. There's also some over there in the corner on another shelf. She'll show on the TikTok, but a lot of this stuff is the signs, the neon. These things have been brought here. You know what I mean? People bring this stuff to me and they drop it off here. The stuff that's on the bar here. These are all signs that were brought here from friends and some people I don't even know. I never met them. They'll hit me up like, hey, what's up, bro? I want to come down and bring a sign to your garage. Or, hey, bro, I want to come down and have a beer with you, and I'll bring you a bottle of alcohol. And they'll show up here, and they'll sit down here at the bar, and, hey, we become friends. We hang out here, and we drink together, and we have our conversations, you know what I mean? And, I invite anybody to come here as long as you're going to come here with a good attitude, and you're welcome to come here. Shit, I think the last time we had an event here, like, was it like 3 chicks came over here? We didn't know who the fuck they were. Yeah, 3 girls showed up over here, and they just pulled up in their car, and they got out, and they just started talking to all the guys out here, and they were hanging out. I didn't know who they were. I'd never seen them before in my life.
I'd seen them before.
But they came over here, hang out, you know what I mean, drinking beer, and, we have a good time right here. It's just like, just come here with a good attitude, and don't steal shit. I thought last time somebody stole something from me here. I was like, damn, somebody stole one of my signs that somebody brought to me.
Who's gonna steal from you?
But no, it just was misplaced, But I was like, man, that's fucked up, because somebody brought me a wooden sign, a Harley sign, and I couldn't find it. And I ended up finding it. But I just tell people, hey, come through with a good attitude. You bring what you drink. You know what I mean? Because me, I drink Blue Moon and I drink whiskey. If you drink something else, some other kind of beer, well, then bring that beer with you. You know.
So somebody asked where we're from. We live in Upland.
Damn,
so that's
they're banging on me. Who's
they're-
banging on me?
No, where are you from? Where you grew
I'm
up?
from the Harbor area. I grew up in the Harbor area.
I grew up in San Gabriel Valley.
She grew up in Azusa.
I grew up in Azusa. That's where I grew up.
All right, Rachel. I'll talk to you later. Hit me up on IG. Yeah, I'm from the Harbor area. I've been out here in the IE for a while though.
Ride your bike.
Yeah, they didn't steal from me though. I thought they
didn't.
did. I thought they did. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up because that day, that actually was a girl and her husband that came from Palmdale. They came all the way from Palmdale over here. And she brought me 2 wooden signs. One, I've already hung it up today, is a Harley Davidson one. It just says Harley Davidson. And then the other one was the Harley Davidson shield.
I'll show you.
And I couldn't find the shield. The one that's up there, I hung it up there. She brought that one, and then she brought another one that had magnets on the back of it. And I didn't realize that somebody stuck it on the side of the refrigerator in the garage. So I'm just like, damn, where's that sign at? And I thought somebody had stole it. And then I think that like a day later, I was by the refrigerator on the side of the refrigerator. I was like, oh shit. The sign was stuck to, because it has magnets on it, was stuck to the side of the refrigerator where I couldn't see it. So that's the only, but nobody stole nothing from here, you know. But like I said, all these things, most of this stuff is brought here and it's given to me. And
Melissa asked if you ride your bike to work.
No, I haven't because it gets cold as hell in the morning. And my headlights are acting up on me and shit. So that's another reason why I'm putting my Big Mike like the light.
I accidentally tapped it.
Oh,
when I was,
what the hell?
I tapped it with my finger when I was showing the wall.
No, my lights are acting. That's another reason why it's going to the shop. It's going to go to the shop, and they're going to put new bars on it. And they still have to. When they put the bars in, they got to deal with the electrical work on it. So, no, she don't ride. Don't encourage that.
I would love to ride my own bike, but I'm a backpack.
Yeah, and then you go ahead and if you go on Instagram, you can see the motherfucking dudes that let their wives ride, and next thing you know, they're with another dude.
So the reason he hasn't done a lot of riding because obviously he's on chemotherapy, so the chemo is actually taking a lot of his strength away. But he's wanting to put we're putting the bike in the shop right now to get it done the way he wants to get it done again. And he'll start riding them again.
Yeah, I want to get back on the bike, and I want to start taking it to work, and then just get out there and start riding around the weekend and stuff like that. You know, the days that I have off, just go. Whether it's just me and her, and damn, you're only 4'11".
That's like
Erica. You better go get yourself a scooter.
I'm 5'2".
Dan, what's up with Compton? How you doing, bro? I grew up right there, not too far from there. I grew up, I grew up off Compton Avenue before they changed it. Well, it was Compton Avenue. They changed it to Marine in my area. Hell yeah, you could bring that fucking but leave your stupid sport coat at home. Remember that sport coat that you didn't want me wearing? Oh, you thought I was gonna steal from you? You wouldn't wear your damn sweaty ass sport coat, Mondo.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry. I hate that word. Sorry. Like what?
What's that?
He lost his brother a week ago to cancer.
Hey, you know, it is what it is, man. That's just, you know, yeah, I mean, it sucks, you know, that you lost your brother to that, you know, but
we've been talking
dealing with that shit, you know, like you see me right now, like, yeah, I'm okay today. I'm okay today, you know, and that reminds me of something that I just tried to steer you down sport coat, Mondo. Nobody wanted that goddamn thing. It was all sweaty on the inside. The armpits were all white. You know, I'm okay today, you know, but I was pretty shitty last week, you know, and it's funny thing is today I went down to get my blood drawn at the cancer center, had to go get my blood drawn because I got to go see my doctor on Monday to find out what they're going to do, if they're going to change my chemo because the chemo's not working for me right now, or what they're going to do. They're going to give me different chemo, or they're going to give me radiation. What they're going to do. But when I walked in, there's a dude there that he's kind of new. He's been going for a couple of months now. He's all tatted up. He's actually the tattoo artist, but he's all blasted up, his neck, his head, everything. I mean, he's done time in prison and shit like that. He's probably like in his mid-30s, and I really don't know him too well, but we talk. We talk, me and him. I think his name is Steven. And so he was there yesterday when I went to go do my. Was it yesterday did chemo?
You did chemo yesterday.
Yeah, I went to do chemo yesterday, and he was there doing chemo, and so we were talking and everything, and he seemed to be okay, and I was all right. And then today I went back to go get my blood drawn, but I had to go to see the nurses about my about some paperwork that the lab needed. So I walk in and he's there again, and so as soon as I walk in, he's like, "Hey, what's up, big homie?" And I say, "Hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing here? Why are you here today?" He's like, "Oh, man, I'm not feeling too good, man, and I have to do chemo again today." And he goes, I'm really out of it right now, man. I just don't feel good, man. And it's really kicking my ass right now." And I was like, "All right, well, because I talked to him, I mean, he's not been there that long, he's had probably like 7 treatments, you know what I mean?" And then when I told him, "Well, I'm on my 36th treatment," he's like, "Wow, man, 36 treatments already?" I was like, "Yeah," and there's no light at the end of the tunnel for me. As far as right now, they're not telling me like, "Oh," because they told him like, "You're gonna probably do like 2 more treatments and you'll be okay." You know what I mean? Your numbers are good and all that stuff. We're probably gonna do like 2 more treatments. With me, there is none of that. They ain't telling me like, "Hey, we're doing 2 more treatments," none of that stuff. I'm on it for. My thing is I'm on until I can't do it no more. That's pretty much where I'm at. You know what I mean? And so, when he was there, he's when I saw him today, he looked really sick and shit. He's like, I'm really sick right now, and so I'm like, well, it's a mental thing. You know what I mean? It's a mental thing. You know what I mean? Just you'll be all right. Just give it some time. Yeah, you're gonna be in some pain. You're gonna feel what you feel. I said I was like that last week. But you'll be all right. The pain is on. It just tells you that you're still alive. You know what I mean? So then I say, "Hey, man, are you hungry?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of," because I go, "How long are you gonna be here today?" He's like, "I'm gonna be here all day." I said, "Okay." I said, "Are you hungry?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of am." I said, "Okay, I'll go eat something to eat." I said, "I gotta wait for this paperwork anyway. I'll be right back. I'll go eat something to eat." So I told the girl, "Hey, I'll be back in like 10 minutes." And she's like, "Okay." So then I took off and I left and I went to this place called Rafa's right there on town in Laverne, right next to the cancer treatment center. I went. 'Cause I was gonna go get him Jack in the Box. But then I remembered that Rafa's was right there. So I went over there because I had been there before. So I went over there and I got him a carnita burrito. I brought it back to him. And, and I said, "Here, just relax." You know what I mean? Just, you got to understand this cancer shit is a mental thing. It's a mind game. It's a mind game. Yeah, you're in pain. Yeah, sometimes even this morning, I'm spitting out blood and shit this morning. You know what I mean? But I'm not in no pain. I'm just really tired and shit. But it's a mental thing, and it breaks you down. Like last week, I felt like, was it last week when I slept? I was in the bed for like 2 days.
A few days ago.
Yeah, a few days ago I was in bed. I just I couldn't do it no more. You know what I mean? And you get to that point, when you're dealing with the shit where you just don't want to do it no more. You know what I mean? Where you feel like, "Oh man, I just can't do this shit no more. Or how much longer I'm gonna be able to take this shit?" You know what I mean? But then, fuck, out of nowhere, you'll wake up the next day and you feel like almost 100% again. You know what I mean? And that it comes and goes. You know what I mean? So that's what I was telling him. Yeah, you're feeling like shit right now, but tomorrow you might wake up and there you are, ready to go again. You know what I mean? So it's a mental thing. Don't let the shit break you down. You know what I mean? And so that's what we go through though.
Thank you, Spooky. Thank you.
I don't see anything. I can't see it right now. Let's scroll down.
Yeah, there's gonna be some good days and bad days.
Yeah, the thing is, and the days that's like, when it's bad is bad. When it's good is good. It's good for me today. Yesterday I was fine, but I know that since I got it yesterday, today's good. Tomorrow I probably feel like shit. You know what I mean? Sunday I probably feel like shit, or Monday. But the good thing for me is it fell on my week where I have 5 days off. Every 3 weeks I get 5 days off from work. So it fell on my first day off. Yesterday was my day off. I went to chemo. So now I have 4 more days where I'm off. So if I feel like shit, I'll be at home. I ain't gotta call off from work, but
You want to wrap it up? 32 hours and 15 minutes. You guys hang in there for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you for listening to us.
yeah, there's that. You know what? My thing was Sanchez. My thing is I'd never like to sleep. I don't like laying in bed. I got to get up. But those 2 days, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep myself up. And I go lay down. I go take a Percocet and mellow myself out. You know what I mean? And try to take away the pain from my feet, my bones, and my muscles and shit. You know what I mean? And it works. I kind of like will doze off. But um, there's like there's good days and there's bad days. You know what I mean? But me personally, I know, and I've been saying it for a while, that it's going to get worse before it gets better. If it does get any better, you know what I mean? I'm not, I'm not focused on, because a lot of people say you're going to be okay, you're going to be all right, you're going to beat this, and it's like it's nice to say that, you know what I mean? But you got to understand what it is that I'm going through. You know what I mean? It's nice to say that, but it's
Him and I have our own conversations about that. We do appreciate the support.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not religious. She believes in religion. I don't. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that, when people say, "Oh, hey, I'm praying for you," and all that stuff like that, that doesn't mean that I push that to the side. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, for me, it's the same thing as somebody coming to me and saying, "Hey, I wish you luck." You know what I mean? What's going on? You know what I mean? And so it's like I don't be like, "Oh man, I'm not religious." Don't say that kind of stuff to me. You know what I mean? I appreciate when people say, "Oh, I'm praying for you," and all that stuff. I appreciate it. But the reality is, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm still dealing with it. For how long? Who knows? You know what I mean? I'm not like other people where they're saying, "Hey, you know what?" Like I said, the dude Steven, they told him he probably has to do like 2 more treatments, and his numbers are good. It looks like the things he's beating the cancer. You know what I mean? When it comes to me, my cancer is like the fifth rarest cancer and that you can get, and the chances of surviving it is like slim. You know what I mean? Most people won't last 5 years with the cancer that I have. There are some people that have beat the cancer, the same cancer I have. There are some that have beat it, but it's rare to beat it. You know what I mean? Especially when they catch it at stage 4, where they caught my cancer. Because once you pass stage 4, you're hit terminal cancer. When you have terminal cancer, there's no helping you. You know what I mean? So when you're in stage 4 cancer, you're pretty close to terminal cancer. You know what I mean? So it the chances are, as the stages go up, the chances are less. You know what I mean? Than catching that at stage 1 or whatever. And the other day, some guy, I think it was yesterday, some guy was saying, I think it was on IG, that he went to the doctors and that they told him that he had did a piss test and he had blood in his urine, but then I guess he did another test and it showed nothing. And I told him, oh, it's on Facebook. I'm sorry, it was Facebook. I remember now. It was Facebook. And I told him, go get a PET scan done. Don't listen to that shit, because that's what happened with me. I did a piss test a couple of years ago and they said there was blood in my urine. Come back the next day, do the test again, and we'll see what happens. I went back, the test was clear. 8 months later, I get diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Blood in your piss is not normal. It might not be there all the time. You know what I mean? So you might do the test and it's piss, there's blood in your urine. Then you do the test again, and there's no blood. Well, the first time they see blood in your urine, they should say, hey, you know what? Just to be safe, go do a PET scan, because there's no reason for you to have blood in your urine. And so I told them, don't listen to that. Go and take the PET scan, because you might be able to, if you have cancer, you'll catch it before it hits, the higher stages where you have a harder chance of beating it. Yeah, I got a friend that has bone cancer. My boy, and if you look at my YouTube, if you're not on my YouTube, it's the same as Chicano Style Bikers, same as the TikTok. I did an interview with him. As my boy Johnny, he has bone cancer, and he's had surgeries and stuff like that. His hip was just completely destroyed by the cancer. He has a hip replacement on his shit, and now one leg's longer than the other. But he's still fighting. He's still going to chemo. He still has cancer, and he still rides around on his Harley and shit like that, still doing his thing, But yeah, he has bone cancer. The thing about bone cancer, from what I understand, is there's no stages to that. I have esophageal cancer in my esophagus, and there's stages for that. But yeah, he has bone cancer. But I got like 7 friends that I know, or 5, 6, 7 friends. They all have cancer. They all have different forms of cancer. The dude I was talking about that goes to the doctor where I go, that I just met recently, he had testicular cancer. You know what I mean? So he has a different form of other people that I didn't, that he's the only one that I know that has that.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Well, you know what? We've been on for a while now, so we're gonna go ahead and cut the videos off. Cut the live stream and all that off. But anyways, I appreciate you guys following and even sticking around this long, and asking all these questions and stuff like that. And for you guys that are on TikTok, just you do me a favor and go over to the YouTube channel, and it's the same thing, Chicano Style Bikers on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It helps me get into the algorithm, and getting all these followers and stuff like that. I'm already at, like, I don't know, 1,500. I don't know what the hell I'm at, but it helps me out. Just like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate
Yeah, and if
it.
there's content that you guys want us to do a video on, or just him by himself, go ahead and message us. Message and let us hear what you want to hear, and do just one video on. You can either message the TikTok, you can go on both of our IGs and message us. Feel free to do that, okay?
You too, Mondo. I'll be talking to you, bro.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Have
Be
a good
safe.
night.
Have a great Mother's Day weekend. And Feliz Dia de las Madres. Today's Mexican Mother's Day. Have a good night, guys.
What a Zay. Sorry you cut us at the end, but we'll be back soon. Take care, everybody.